Well, I'm really thankful that we got to host you all today, and you got to see some of our students. My role in the college is I do communications, and then I also do employer relations. And so, trying to help bridge the gap between our employers to our students, and just kind of help be that liaison in communication for you all. And it was really awesome working with Christina. And so I'm really excited, and I think that I'm going to be directing question answers to you and anyone who else wants to chime in. So the point of this session, this part, I'm going to take some of the recordings that I've done today, and students, if you want to ask some additional questions as I go, I'll be clipping this recording, and I'm actually going to be sharing it on some of our other platforms and highlighting your company in another way. So for those that might not have been here, during this question and answer session or during this casual meet and greet, they have the ability to learn some more about your company and maybe some different ways that they can connect. So I'm excited to ask some of these questions. So my first question is, Drew, if you want to introduce yourself and give a brief overview of your role within Holder.
So other Holder folks, have y'all already done this?
We'll give our introductions as well, Drew.
All right, so you want me to go first?
Please.
Okay. So my name is Drew Yantis. I'm a Senior Vice President with Holder Construction. I have spent my entire career of 32 years with Holder, so it was my first job out of school. I've worked in Florida, I've worked in Georgia, I worked in pre-construction and project management, and now I kind of oversee our higher education practice, which means I get to travel to all of our different markets. The one thing I really enjoy is that most of our university work is within reasonable proximity of our offices. And so I get a chance to go by and visit with the folks in the office, as well as going to the job sites and going to visit with our clients. We kind of have a seller-doer model, so I'm not really a business development person, but today I'm not really an operations person either. I'm kind of a quasi in the middle. And then one of my passions is I love the recruiting side. I love recruiting and finding talented young professionals. And my objective is to try to find people that I think will be at Holder for 25 years. The great majority of the people that work with us have worked nowhere else. So somewhere in the 70% range of our operations folks started at Holder and have stayed with Holder.
Great, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Christina Burns. I'm a senior manager with Holder. I am now currently in our planning and design support services group. So essentially, I am working with our design partners and our owners to help deliver a higher quality set of drawings that our subcontractors can develop the bids off of, and that, limit the RFIs and enhance the submittal coordination during the construction phase. But like Drew, I also have some side passions, associate development being one of them, where I'm working with our associates to enhance our associate experience through retreats and through other extracurricular opportunities to really develop each other and to grow and strengthen our skills throughout the company. Michael?
Yeah, my name is Michael Ware. I'm an office engineer out here in Charleston in operations. It's my first job out of school. Interned with Holder up in the DC area last summer, and now full-time with Holder in the operations department.
Joe, what about you?
Hi, my name's Joe Petty. I graduated from Tennessee. I'm currently in my second year with Holder, just outside Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. I also did an internship with Holder in Atlanta, and I'm an engineer on the operations side. So I'm in the heart of construction coordination, so RFIs, submittals, cost management, all of the day-to-day things resolving construction coordination items.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm going to ask this one to Drew, and then the next question I want to have everyone kind of add to the question and the response. So Drew, can you give us like an overview of Holder and what the company kind of values, and then the primary locations where Holder is? Because we see like DC, got South Carolina, a lot of different areas. So can you kind of give us an overview of that?
So I think the easiest thing is that we strive to be the best and not the biggest. Now we're a privately owned company, still privately owned, second generation family, 60 years in business this year, started in Atlanta, Georgia. About 20, 25 years ago, we spread out a little bit. We went to Phoenix and Dallas, so we started to kind of spread out. We infilled in with Charlotte and, Charlotte and Dallas. Phoenix and DC were where we went first, then Charlotte and Dallas. We then went to California, and then most recently Colorado. So the big thing is for us is our culture is really important. And in an overview, we define our culture as teamwork, performance, and service. We have a whole lot of attributes where we have expanded on that to include things like family, things like one company. And so those are critical. And so when we hire, we look for people that really are a good fit to our culture. In terms of the kinds of projects we do, historically, we've always done a little bit of aviation. Right? At one point in time, Delta Airlines was our biggest client, and office buildings. When we had some downturns in the market in the early 90s, we started looking at other opportunities. Data centers and higher education were the two that we kind of focused on then. And then we started looking at hospitality. So that's still our basic markets, although the aviation has changed a little bit from just kind of Delta operations support to large national airports. So we just got our first CO at Salt Lake City at the terminal there, which was a multi-billion-dollar project. We're doing a big airport project in Denver, also Charlotte. We built the international terminal in Atlanta. And so what we're trying to do is be the best, not the biggest, have a very focused group of projects that we work on. And today about 90 to 95% of our work is repeat business. So if we do a really good job and we hire really good people, then it allows the company to continue to grow organically. So it's not based on chasing work, it's based on finding good people, developing, giving opportunities, and grow the company as the people and the associates at the company are able to grow accordingly.
Thank you. Actually, I saw the virtual release of one of the airport terminals on y'all's Twitter. That was when I was looking through earlier. It's really awesome.
Yeah, Salt Lake City project is amazing.
Yeah, it was really impressive. So kind of going off some of the things you already said and kind of desiring to hear some different perspectives is the company culture. So you kind of mentioned those core pillars and values. So from each of the different representatives on the call today, how would you personally describe the culture? And then what's your favorite part about working with Holder?
I'll take a pass at that before I punt it to Joe and Michael. As Drew mentioned, there's 5 cultural attributes that we strive to live by every day. Leading with integrity, performing together, caring and connecting, developing each other, and improving relentlessly. And so for me, a big part of what I identify with in our culture is developing each other, which is why I'm so passionate about the associate development aspect of what Holder can do with our associates. And so for me, that means leading by example, right? It's helping our younger associates understand the process and the people and all that it takes to successfully complete a project or a task. It's being self-aware and creating that sense of vulnerability to ask for help when you need help. It's spending time to not only develop technical skills, but it's also to develop the non-technical skills in terms of being a stronger leader or developing the skill sets to embrace teamwork. And so developing each other for me is really the core of the culture that I really identify with. And in terms of, a favorite aspect of that culture, I think that was somewhat of your question, just an example being that we do company retreats every year. This year being an outlier, of course, but every associate has an opportunity to go to a company retreat for 2 or 3 days away from their projects to participate in, different types of activities and workshops, if you will, and get to know and really connect with associates nationwide.
I'll go ahead. sorry, Michael, and add on, my kind of favorite attribute is more of the perform together, and everyone comes to this job site every day with the same goal, and that's to provide, to get the job done and do it and provide excellent service to our clients. And everyone's committed and cares about their job and being the best they can do and pushing each other. And when the day's over or the weekend comes, we all like to hang out and enjoy each other outside of work and have a life outside of work and spend time together and do fun things as we can. So
I agree. Going back to the development aspect of it, just improving both the professional life of the associate as well as the social life of the associate, both learning, tricks of the trade, and as well as connecting fellow associates together to spend time outside of work to fulfill, those social interactions that we all need. So as well as pushing each other with the job site as well as outside, following your dreams, chasing your achievements, all of that, just really coming together and caring about the full cycle of your life.
Thank you. So I want to kind of move forward. I know that this afternoon we heard a lot about internships and how to connect to those. So this is more speaking of like the candidates. So what makes a good candidate a good fit? Is it what experiences do you desire to see? And then what are those attributes that you're looking in those resumes that's like, yeah, I want to have a deeper conversation with this student. So what is it that you're looking for when it comes to our students putting themselves out there?
Drew, he dropped, love technology, but he'll be back on here shortly when he gets back logged in. So I'll take a pass at that. What I think we are looking for when it comes to candidates is candidates who are bright, who are engaging, who are interested, who can articulate what they're looking for, even though they may not know, and it's okay to say they don't know, but to help us understand what exactly is appealing about Holder Construction. Ultimately, we're looking to find candidates who fit our culture, right? And so we look to hire the associates before we look to fill a position. And so, understanding that this is a totally virtual time and it's very odd and difficult to connect over technology. I think the best that students can do to portray a presence virtually, whether it be, looking professionally or actively asking questions, engaging through smiling and nodding, I think that all helps us understand, what that person is all about. Of course, it's not just about their professional and their schooling background and what they took and their GPA and the courses and all that good stuff. It's also about who they are as a person, what makes them them, right? And so if they have extracurricular activities that they enjoy or hobbies that they enjoy, I think that's important because in the end, we're all human beings. We're looking to connect to each other and work with each other. And that's just more about a representative of who Holder is as a company, right?
Thank you. And so kind of continuing with that, what is the advice, and maybe this comes like more to Michael, what's the advice that you want to give to students who are preparing to either go into this career field or even specifically like we have the career fair coming up and it's going to be virtual. And I really love during the talk that you gave, like the tips and tricks of like, what do you look like on this camera? But what are those advices or tips of advice or tricks that you're like, okay, let's keep this in mind and how to make them stand out during these unprecedented times, but even maybe in like a normal setting when having those conversations with you all?
Yeah, and so the tips and tricks for the webcam are super helpful as we enter into this digital world, but also too, I guess, just being calm and ready to talk about yourself.
People at the career fairs, oops, did I mute myself?
No, you're good.
Okay. I just got a notification. I think my headphones are acting up. But these people really do care about, your experiences. And so just being ready to talk about the experiences as we look down your resume, be like, oh, you did, residential in Denver. How was that like? What made you do that, or what did you take away from that to apply that to where you want to go? So just being ready to talk about your experiences and just being comfortable with what you've done and the path that you're willing to take.
Coming from one who will be interviewing at the career fair, I think sending the resumes ahead of time, right? So connecting with us ahead of time so we can prepare our thoughts and, look at your resume and be prepared to have a meaningful discussion with you, I think would be really important. And I also think that following up after an interview is that's something special extra, right? To send us an email or to text or give us a phone call and say, hey, I really enjoyed meeting with you. I'm interested in learning more about you. And dropping little tidbits of information that you picked up on through the interview or through the info session tells us that you're going that extra mile to show you care and that you were listening and participating.
And I'll just add just a little, I would say, put on the best version of yourself and be yourself. Make sure you master the little things like we talked about. Dress appropriately, all the camera angles, you have a good setup behind you. Show that you care about the little details, and that'll probably already put you several steps ahead of people who don't take the time to do that.
Thank you. So it's kind of a review of the different questions that I had that I hadn't really gotten to fill in from some of the conversation that I overheard today. And I'm really thankful for some of the students that are still on here. Danny, I know that you all have built connections throughout the different times of interacting with Holder, but do you all have any additional questions that you'd like to share?
I think I covered all of them.
Not that anything I can think of at the moment.
Well, I appreciate you all and having this time just to showcase your company and getting to interact with our students. And I look forward to continuing working with you all and reach out. And I don't know where Drew went. I was excited.
He just texted and said he totally lost internet. I don't know what happened in Alabama over there.
Alabama is not only taking other things, it's taking its internet away.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you all and look forward to connecting further. So
likewise. Well, we appreciate the opportunity to connect with you and the students and the construction science program and the Herbert College of Agriculture. So wonderful.
Awesome. Well, y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll be following up.
Sounds good. Bye, Sarah, and bye, Michael. See you later.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you all.